Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about marketing guarantees and why don't PPC, marketing agencies, SEO agencies, and the like guarantee any of what they're providing. It would seem a little silly if you wanted to go hire a cleaning company and you said, can you guarantee you'll get my house clean? They said, well, we can't control whether or not your house is clean. Maybe there's some stuff on the floor we can't control. Which is your typical response from the everyday average or 99.999% of marketing agencies out there of any type is going to tell you if you try to get guaranteed results from them or ask it from them, even though they don't outright offering it now, but want to have them accommodate you in terms of guaranteeing the results that you're going to be paying good money for, or just to know that it's not a complete fucking scam. The long story short of all of this is pretty much 90% of the marketing space out there is a scam, and a lot of people aren't going to like me saying that, but the reality is the reality. And of course, you could say, by the way, that you look weak for speaking poorly about your competitors, and in this particular space, i.e. marketing services, that's complete bullshit. Most of the companies out there are bullshit. Yes, some people have shitty products, and therefore that's why the marketing company couldn't help them. But they knew the product was shit in the first place. So why did they take the project on if they thought that the product was sucky? And obviously sometimes you don't know until you do it, but for the most part it's a ruse. So they're going to tell you what you want to hear, you're going to get great results, and then they do jack shit for you, and then the results speak for themselves. You can go around, ask of any business owner if they've ever hired a marketing company or agency at one point in time, and most people are going to have a bad experience working with a marketing agency. Generally speaking, at our firm, Guaranteed PPC, which this is not a marketing pitch for my agency. I'm just giving you guys some perspective. I'm not trying to sell anything. In fact, don't hire us, okay? Don't hire us, okay? But the typical person, we actually do have a contingency-based PPC service here. Our average client's gotten screwed over by 3-4 other marketing agencies before they got to us. And the only reason why that happens on average, our typical client's been screwed over several times like that, is because they don't understand a guarantee and marketing and how they want it, you know, what the power of a guarantee is when you hire a marketing firm until they've gotten screwed over multiple times. And also why they have to pay, you know, more than just a little bit of money. Because there's marketers out there that'll, you know, if you have a $1 budget, they'll take it. It doesn't mean they're going to do anything either. So ultimately, I'm going to explain all this, why this basically is. Why most of the market is a scam, why they won't guarantee results. Does that mean ultimately without somebody providing a guarantee, can they get you results? Not at all. But for the most part, you just got to realize how to protect yourself. Most of the market is a scam. There's no tried and sure way to know who's a scam and who's not, but it certainly does help if they can guarantee something. At the very least, you can ask them if they'll guarantee something, see how they'll respond, and gauge whether or not they are a scam on that alone, which I'll go through. Well, anyway, with all that said, I will also explain why these marketing firms aren't guaranteeing results. If they are going to guarantee results, what they'd have to do, because we've went through all of that at our own PPC agency, Guaranteed PPC, over the last 8 years to figure out how to actually offer a guaranteed results, which basically everybody wants in a PPC service or any marketing service, given everybody's willing to pay for marketing services. The only question is, does the service work? With everybody getting screwed over most of the time, everybody wants a guarantee. So that said, we'll get into the content. I did some research on this particular video, looked far and wide as to why other marketing firms in our space, PPC agencies, whatever, just marketing firms in general, are not guaranteeing their results. To give you some basic, I can give you my feedback on what actually people are using as excuses, so to say, of why they won't guarantee results. Because every marketing firm gets asked, it's the most common question you get asked, how do I guarantee that this is going to work? And not always is that question warranted, by the way, and which I'll go through, but in general, you're not going to find anybody offering a guarantee. Like I said, 99.99% of the time, you're not going to find anybody that's willing to give you a guarantee. Of which, the people that are out there publicly stating why they won't give a guarantee to educate the public, since, the most common questions you have as a company, your best marketing opportunity is to answer those questions in a public way, because through the search engines and all that, you'll get traffic to your site that way, which is why I'm doing it as well, of course. But the reasons why that people are willing to publicly admit and they sugarcoat and give the fancy answer that, that doesn't really take into account what they really think. What people are basically saying is that the fee would be too high is one reason why that I've seen that people give why they can't guarantee results with their marketing service. And that is a very actual valid reason if there wasn't the other side of it, which is you could simply just charge more money, tell the client up front it's going to be more money. The guarantee exists, but you're going to have to pay us a lot of money, and they could still offer the guarantee. What I've seen one particular company say is, well, if we actually guaranteed our results based upon the number of times that it doesn't work out, we would have to charge so much that nobody would want to hire us anymore. And I understand that at surface level, but again, you could just charge a lot, or guarantee the result, and there's still going to be people that would want to hire you anyway, even though you're going to charge a lot with that guarantee. And I know that because that's what our entire agency does. We charge a lot, but we also guarantee the results. And as a side, if you're, by the way, if you stay to the end of the video, I'll elaborate on this, but our firm will actually not just guarantee your PPC results, we'll actually pay for your ad spend, which we normally don't do for your typical everyday person we're going to guarantee the results for. We'll pay for your ad spend and do the entire work on your PPC campaign setup and management for free, at least up front free, if your idea is good enough. We'll simply just take a percentage of your revenue on the back end, be an investor in your company. But you gotta have a good idea. If you want to know if your idea is good enough, you can contact me at Guarantee PPC and I'll tell you. We've invested in several companies already and we're intending to invest in a lot more because we make more money investing in the companies and taking a piece of them and growing them at this stage, given how successful we are with what we know to do with PPC. Anyway, with that said, going back to as to what people are going to say that have marketing firms, why they can't guarantee results, by far, the most common reason, what you're going to see almost everybody say, is they can't control the outcome. They can't control whether or not you run out of stock or, your website goes down, which are all technically right. There's a saying, every good lie has an element of truth to it, and that is in itself very accurate. They use the element of, well, you could screw up on your end, therefore we can't guarantee results. But it's a clever way to put what you're trying to, pin them down to do back on you again. Ultimately, they could guarantee results. Maybe, okay, from the standpoint, they can't guarantee results because something always outside of their control could actually happen. Your website could go down. You could run out of stock. You could have supply issues, whatever. But if they didn't get your results, they could refund your money or not charge you anything. Or just not, or the proper way would be not to charge you anything until you've made money. And then you take your money out of the money that the client's made. So your fee comes out of what profits the client's already made, like we do. But they don't want to do that. They just want to say, well, there's too many unknowns. You may screw up on your site, so I'm not guaranteeing shit. And that in itself, to me, is a total bullshit. And I understand it because not to say this is true in every case, but if you were really good at what you're doing, you'd do what we're doing. You'd either take a piece of people's businesses, long-term anyway, as you've developed your firm and you've been doing it for 10 years, or you'd start up your own e-commerce sites and you would market your own sites. If your shit was that hot shit to begin with, that would be the case. The people, again, this is going to be very unpopular for other marketers. Ultimately, the marketing field is full of people who don't understand marketing and couldn't market their own shit, so they charge other people to market their stuff and can make money that way because their marketing doesn't have to work to make money. If that's 90% of the people out there. And I'll go into that a bit further here in a second. But anyway, that's the second main reason why people say they can't get results, of what they'll publicly tell you or admit. This isn't an excuse, but if they will guarantee results, which I see there's a lot of people guaranteeing, but it's a fake guarantee, just like those scammy product sellers out there, they'll say a 30-day money-back guarantee. Good luck, though, getting your money back from that bullshit company. You try it, there's all these hoops you got to jump through. Same thing with these marketing agencies that'll say, oh yeah, we guarantee that you'll get results, but pay us first, and then eventually if you don't get the results, we'll give you your money back. Bullshit, it's not going to happen. They're going to find some excuse why it was your fault, you're not getting your money back, and it's too late. Too late to charge back your credit card, everything. So anyway, moving forward here, the real reason they won't tell you why they're not going to guarantee your results. Reason number one, hiring talented marketers is hard/expensive. If I could, basically find good marketers who knew what they were doing easily, I would grow my firm and I would have hundreds of clients. Because I can get the clients. Getting the results, at least from the standpoint of multiplying what's in my brain, infinitely harder to do. It's so hard that I'm not even trying to do it. I would rather take a piece of our clients' businesses and invest some money into ad spend for a future cut of the revenue and do the strategy for that client, then go try to hire somebody else to do what I do and charge a fee, a marketing fee for it. That's the stage of where we got to now. 5 or so years from now, we're mostly only going to be doing revenue share model here at our PPC agency. You cannot find good marketers. You can find crappy marketers, because if they were really good marketers, they could make more money marketing their own shit than they can marketing for clients, most of the time. Your $50,000 a year marketing employee, or even $100,000 marketing employee that's doing that is doing it because they're not the cream of the crop marketer. It's the same thing. Some of you guys are probably cussing at me already, but it's the same thing in like the construction space. The reason why the construction industry is so segmented, and there's not one big construction company that runs all the construction jobs across the US, is because it takes a very talented person to run a construction company with very specific talents and rare talents. And if you wanted to start a construction company, you needed to hire a CEO who could run your construction company. The person that's qualified to do that could run their own company. So you're not going to find the good person to run your company. You would have to have that talent yourself to run the company. In the marketing space, it's the same exact way. Somebody who's good enough to understand how to take a product, build a campaign that makes money, that talent, you're not going to be able to hire that person. Either they're going to start their own agency or they're going to start their own e-commerce business or whatever. So you're not going to find good people to just farm out and fill an office full of these genius marketers to market your services. And if you could, by the way, the fee would be $20,000 a month. You got money to pay $20,000 a month to have someone market your ads? Maybe if you're a big company, not for the average small business, at least right away. Anyway, secondly, most ideas/products are shitty. And if you need to guarantee results, you would need to turn down a shitload of people as a result. So in other words, like going back to what I said before, most of these firms, the business model is you come to them, or they go to you, whatever. They hear your business idea. Oh, John, that's a great business idea. Oh, this is going to make millions of dollars. Okay, you have to get started marketing this on Google right away. Oh, our fee is just $2,000 a month. You'll make this back 100-fold. It's literally a drop in the bucket compared to what you'll be making with us and with Google and your company. And you'll be rich sipping, cocktails on an island somewhere about 5 years from now. And it's all just a ruse, and they're filling your head with all this optimism so you'll overlook the risks of the situation and hiring that company, locked into a 1-year contract, so on and so forth. In other words, though, if you wanted to actually guarantee results for clients, you have the opposite business model, which is this product shit? Does it look like it would ever work? Does it look like there's ever an actual market for this? Is this a Me Too product? If so, I'm not guaranteeing your results. Too risky for me, sorry. Versus you'll take, anybody and you actually actively pump that person's head full of nonsense so that they actually proceed with you at the highest rate and with the campaign at the highest rate possible, versus the other side would be trying to scrutinize the idea and to find reasons not to do it. So if you do a guaranteed model, most clients you can't work with. So if you are going to do a guarantee, you would work with very few clients, okay? 3, and as a side to that, you want to know a great way to see if your actual idea sucks or not? Look for a marketing agency, partner, whatever, who works partially on commission. I'm not even all the way on commission. Find a marketing company that charges, let's say, $2,000 a month, going back to that example I gave you before. Ask if you could pay $1,000 a month, and you'll pay 1% of sales after so many sales have been achieved, into the indefinite future. What do they say? If they tell you no, that might be just unlucky. Go to another agency, try it with them. Do they tell you no? If you get through 3, 4, 5 different agencies and they all told you no, your idea, frankly, I'm sorry to break it to you right now, it sucks. But it's better that you know now that it sucks instead of listening to these airhead people at these agencies, these salespeople you cannot trust to tell you that it's a good idea, and you get into the whole thing and you lose 50 grand finding out that idea sucks. These marketing agencies aren't dumb. They're just scams, most of them. You run across, as running a marketing agency, you've seen hundreds and hundreds of ideas being tested. You understand kind of what's going to work and what's not. You've seen it there. You've seen it all. They know legitimately if there's a good enough idea, I don't care what these agencies say, if your idea is good enough, they'll take that deal 100% every time. It's just not that many deals that are that good where you look at the product and it's obvious that this is going to work. So there you go. Free tip. Number 3, most who want a guarantee on their ad campaigns and through their ad agency and the services thereof have an unproven business already. So what I mean is they have this brand new idea. They haven't ran any ads for themselves. They're going straight to the ad agency, which is for the most part, unless you've got other businesses that are bringing in cash already that you own, is pretty dumb. Or you have a lot of savings or whatever. It's kind of dumb in the first place because ultimately it's going to cost a lot to hire an agency who actually knows what they're doing. Cheap agencies are just going to be a waste of your time. So you're trying to start out with little money to find an agency you can afford or is cheap enough to afford, and you just get ripped off and you get nowhere. If you have little money and you're just starting out, you have to learn how to do it yourself like everybody else does. And when you get enough traction and the idea is clearly a proven idea, that's the time you take it to the agency and they can take it over once you don't have time to do it anymore. So most of the people that want to guarantee, they don't have enough money to really pay an agency. And so what they want to do is have you guarantee the idea and then get table scraps when the idea, if it's successful, but up front, you take all the risk and then give you a little teeny piece later on if it works. But chances are it won't work. So that you take all the risk and you get a teeny bit of the reward later on. And so they basically want the cake, and they want their cake and eat it too. So it'd be a different idea if you came to me and you say, I ran this product, it's making 50 grand a month, I spend this 10 grand a month on ads, it's getting a 5-to-1 return, it's profitable, take it over, I want you to see if you can get it to 100 grand a month. That's a whole different ball game than I'm just starting out, I don't know if this is even going to work or not. And so, at least from the agency side, way different risk profile. So they don't guarantee results because most of the people who do want the results guaranteed have a startup idea. They don't have a proven business model already. Because if it was proven, they wouldn't want to guarantee in the first place because they knew if they asked for a guarantee, they'd have to pay a higher fee or a higher percentage. With a proven idea, they want to pay as little as possible to someone competent enough to do it because it's more profitable to do that, if that all makes sense. Number 4, most who want to guarantee underestimate the costs. So what the typical person who wants a guarantee wants to say, I have $5,000. I want you to spend the $5,000, okay? Then, when we spend the $5,000, we've made $15,000 in sales. You'll take $5,000 of the $15,000, you'll put that back in ad spend, and then you'll make another $15,000, and we'll take $5,000 from that, and then we'll put that back into the ad spend, and I won't need anything but $5,000 to launch this entire business. And reality is, if it were that easy, your competitors would already have done it, unless you have a brand new amazing product that's in demand in a new category or whatever, it's way better than what's out there in the market already. That ain't gonna happen. You do have a groundbreaking technology or whatever, it can happen, but most of you guys with Me Too products, it's not going to happen. So ultimately what happens is you, the person who's guaranteeing the results, and I've seen it all because we've been doing this for 8 years now, as soon as the sales are off by a teeny amount, they don't have money to continue, and you've wasted all your time setting everything up for them, and they couldn't take a small fluctuation in the results. You got to be able to go into it, and even if you miss your projection, you got to be able to just keep going. Eventually, if you keep going and you keep optimizing, you will make money. But what makes or breaks the 9 out of 10 people who never make money and the people that make millions is the perseverance and just keep going, regardless of how long it takes to get to the other side, so to say, where it's consistently always going to be profitable from there up. And sometimes it'll take 6 months or 12 months or whatever. You spend what you can afford to spend up front, but don't expect that if you don't hit your exact target on what you need for the ads to then start paying for themselves, you're just going to give up. No, if you're off, it's just going to run unprofitable for a little while longer. So anyway, the people that want a guarantee usually don't have much money, and they're expecting, in other words, to just spend a little bit of money. You, the advertiser, is going to make that profitable already enough to where they don't have to worry about the second $5,000 because that's going to come from the sales you get them on the first $5,000. And that rarely happens unless it's a fantastic product. And if it's that good a product and it's that obvious it's going to work, ultimately they'll tell you they'll take a piece of the revenue on the upside. But like I said, because it's obvious, and that's fine for most companies, even that say they don't guarantee results to take if it's an obvious winner right up front just by looking at it. Anyway, with that said, 6, getting paid is hard. Okay, so even if you get good results for somebody, a lot of people don't believe me when I say this, but the person that wants a guarantee comes to our agency. They could say, if you give me these results, I'll get down on my knees and lick your boots, and I'll give you this, and I'll give you this, and I'll give you this. You get them the results, half of the time, they won't pay you. Why? Psychology is this. Oh, well, I'm doing all the damn work. They're not thinking about all the work they're going to have to do to maintain this business once it's up and going well. They're thinking about, well, I don't have money now, and if I make money, that's just coming from imaginary money that I don't have now, so of course I'll pay them. But the reality is, once they're doing all the work and they're busting their ass, they don't want to give you shit after that. And they forget about what you did early on because that looked easy, first of all, and it was a long time ago. And he's not working now, and I'm paying him for basically nothing, or what seems like little to nothing. I ain't paying him shit. Fuck him. And that's where and why most people also won't do a guarantee, because it's very hard to get paid once you've gotten that client some results. And there's ways to avoid that using third-party intermediaries where you have to prepay into a third-party escrow service, which we also had to implement because people don't want to pay us. But I haven't seen anybody else in the whole marketing space doing anything like that yet. And without it, it's very hard to get paid. 6, no buy-in. If you don't invest in that marketing agency and you expect them to you're going to pay them after you get results and everything, you're not going to get buy-in from that client. There's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to do with that marketing agency. Get back to them about ad approvals, getting them access to certain things, making sure that you tell them certain things about the product to educate that marketer about your product and what, your customers that buy it and why they buy it and all this stuff. And it takes back and forth between that agency, and they're going to have to learn your business, and there's a lot of other stuff you got to do. If you're not paying that agency and they ask you for something that just seems like a pain in the ass to do at the moment, guess what you're going to do? Fuck him. I'm going to just do this tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, I don't want to do it today. I'll wait till tomorrow. And then the whole project fails because you don't feel a loss in not doing what you're supposed to do to make this work. It totally flips when you've paid the agency. oh, I don't want to lose my investment, so I better respond to this even though I'd rather be doing something else right now. So to make guarantee work, you would have to feel like if you did not do what you were supposed to do on your side, you would lose a shitload of money on your side. And not just potentially lose, actually lose. So, which we also had to build contingencies into our own guaranteed service to account for that, to get buy-in from the client, which was you had to, like the getting paid was hard, doing the escrow, you have to prepay a certain amount of what we're eventually get paid into an escrow. So if you don't follow what you're supposed to do and help us, you're losing a certain amount of money and we're getting it no matter what. If we don't get you the results, we don't get the money. But if you don't do what you're supposed to do at minimum, you're not getting the money either. And it's coming to us. So that's the last main reason why agencies won't guarantee your results like you potentially, the most ideal situation for you would be knowing you have a buy-in from an agency and gives a crap about what you're doing. So obviously, you can believe what they're saying and, ultimately, they're trying hard. Okay? A few other closing thoughts here on this whole topic. Most people who want to pay for a guarantee, by the way, want to pay what other agencies charge, then they want better results than those other agencies. I'm going to tell you right now, most agencies, like I said before, are scams. The whole business model is this. Again, they tell you whatever you want to hear to get your money. They get your money, which I didn't say explicitly before. They do nothing or very little to nothing, knowing that you're going to quit in 6 months. So they take almost all of the money you paid them for that 6 months, store it up so that they have enough money left over to find another client after the 6 months, and then it's just churning out clients constantly. So they don't need to charge enough to get your results because they never intended to even try to get you results and knew they weren't going to get your results. So when you come to me and say, this PPC agency over here charges $500 and you're charging $4,000 a month for your results, your guarantee doesn't make any sense anymore. And the reality is that $500 was never intended to get you results in the first place, man or woman. It was a famoose all the way through to start with. So ultimately, in order for our guarantee to work for clients, where we're not just taking a piece of revenue and investing in the companies, like I said, we're getting into doing more of now, we'll do the guarantee for you. We'll guarantee results on Google ads, Facebook ads, so forth. But we'll require at least 10% of what we're supposed to be paid later minimum in an escrow account, which we charge around $4,000 a month when we eventually get you up and going to where you're base level profitable with your ads. You have to cover ad spend, but we'll do the work to get you to profitability. And then we want $4,000 a month for at least the next 12 months after that, which is, if you're doing the math, is about $45,000 minimum we want for you once we get it up and going. Which I know it sounds like a lot. You may fell off your chair already here, but good results take time. It's just, it's the reality. I'm giving you the truth here, not what the other agencies are doing, which are lying to you. And of that $45,000, you got to put $4,500 in a third-party escrow service, online escrow service, so that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, or you don't pay for your ad spend, we get the $4,500 no matter what, which makes sure that we're getting somebody who's paying attention throughout the process. And we get your credit card up front so that when we start to get paid, we don't have to ask you. We just start dinging your card 1 month at a time for the next 12 months once we start getting paid, because we want 12 months with you after that no matter what. So by getting your at least $4,500 up front, that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, we get that. And then your payment source up front so we can just pull money out of your account once we do get you the results. It's finally workable for us. And like I said, we screen a lot of people. There's not going to be everybody we offer the guarantee to. If you have a decent business model and you're willing to fund the ad spend, we'll put the work up front if we know we can get the results and we know what strategies work. We've done this enough time to know how much results we can get. So we just basically finance your results. Yes, it costs a lot to get the results, so we'll put the work in, know what the results are going to be, and when we get the results, we'll just take our money, 6 months, starting 6 months in. And that's the whole business that we built with offering the guarantee and making the guarantee possible for the millions of business owners out there that want a guarantee for and with marketing services and agencies. So you're not going to get a guarantee and a cheap price. You're going to get a guarantee. It's going to be expensive. You're going to be paying a lot, but you're not going to get bullshitted around either. So if you're going to get somebody to guarantee results, that's why basically. So like I said, as a tip, it might not hurt to go around and ask other agencies if they'll work partially on commission to know if your idea is good. If your idea is good and you want to see how much results that you can generate in your market from somebody who only gets paid once you get results, you can contact our agency and we'll give you a projection of how much results we can get in your market based upon similar campaigns we put together in the past. And we'll give you a guarantee that will get you to that minimum starting point, which also is when we figure out your margins and your expenses and how much lifetime value you get from a customer and all that, what we know we got to get sales to be where all your expenses are covered. And if we can get you to that point and you're making money and we know we can get you there, we'll get you there to where you're at that break even or better and not charge any fees until we have. As long as you're willing to put some money up front and a third-party escrow service will do that, because we're looking at the long term. We're looking at getting a client for the next 5-10 years. First 6 months of free work to be able to get a really good client who's where we can make a lot of money on the long term with them, it's fine with us. We're confident enough about what we're doing that when we say we can get you $10,000 a month in sales off of a $3,000 a month ad budget right away to get to break even at the start, even after break even after having to theoretically pay us, we can pretty much get there at least 50+% of the time, considering all the minor things that might go wrong along the way. And we're willing to put something like that together for you. Main thing, though, is you're getting with us is the truth and the reality about what's possible with what you're doing PPC from somebody who's set up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of campaigns. And, not somebody who's just trying to sell you a service. We charge considerably less if we don't have to work for free the first 6 months or whatever. That's closer to what some other agencies charge, but with the guarantee and having to work for free for the first few months, we charge about double. But anyway, I told you that this wasn't going to be a sales pitch. I just wanted to explain if there's a guarantee. This is it's coming from here. Somebody who's went through all the trials and tribulations of trying to actually make a guarantee work that works for both parties, and that's what we've kind of found. So if you're interested, you could reach out to my firm. Otherwise, with all that said, hopefully you learned something about why agencies don't guarantee results, and a lot about how to basically pick a marketing agency. If you like the video, you should give it a like, as we'll be helped by that, and this information can reach far and wide for other people who want to be able to pick the right agency. It'll help them out and it'll help us out get the information out there so we can get some exposure as well. So we'd really appreciate it if you liked the video. We'd also appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel, as I actually have tons of working strategies that we give to you on this particular channel. Strategies that will make you millions of dollars with your PPC. We're giving you the stuff that we use to guarantee results for our clients on this channel. The literal step-by-step methods to make money with Google ads, Facebook ads, and so forth. It's the best information you're going to frankly find on YouTube on how to make money with PPC, coming straight from the source. So if you want to learn how to make a ton of money with PPC, this is the channel for you to subscribe to. If you like the channel, ppc.com/blog, where I have more step-by-step individual screenshots and stuff on how to do the strategies we do here, in case you're interested in that as well. It's a great secondary resource. If you have any questions about anything I covered today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. If you have any questions, it doesn't matter what the question is. I'd be happy to be able to answer it for you, regardless of if it's regarding Google or Bing or Facebook, LinkedIn ads, whatever. If it has to do with online ads, I'm happy to try to chime in and answer it for you with my 15 years of online advertising experience. As a final thing, I wanted to mention before I wrap this up as well, we have a brand new program at our PPC agency. So if you're not looking to hire an outright ad agency to help you manage your ads on Google, Facebook, or whatever, we actually have templates where we've worked in a certain market, and if you're in a different geographic market that doesn't compete with our client or a past client, you can actually, instead of hiring us for full-on services, you can take the campaign templates that we already built for that market already. Whether you're a plumber and you're working in Miami and we've got a client in Dallas, and you guys are never going to cross paths. Instead of having to build that campaign for yourself, you can take the ads, keywords, landing page designs, and all that work for that market, and just use it for your market as far as a template goes, and get mostly the results that we're getting that we spent years building up for that client in another market. So it's just a different way to get what you want done ultimately. And if we've worked in your market before, it would be silly not to be able to use our data on that space, given we are generally always going to beat all the other campaigns in that local area that we're operating in, and it saves you all this time, and it's not very expensive to get that information from us. So, but what we can do is tell you what kind of results we can get in that market, basically roughly up front, and then with that you'll know what results you can get in your market just within a few months' time using these ads and so forth that we already know work in your market. So anyway, if you're interested in that, to see basically what results we can get in your market, and if we've got results in your market, of course, in the few hundred markets that we've worked in, reach out to us at Guarantee PPC. We'll let you know what we have. But with that said, I'll wrap it all up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have an actual great PPC money making strategy for you to be able to explain to you there. See you later.